Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Ty's Nuggets. I'm so happy to be back. Last week was a little rough and I didn't get to post, but I'm back this week with another video. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try to make it short and sweet, nothing long, but there's still a message. So over the past year, since today is the last day of the year, I've been thinking of things that I wanted to accomplish and some things that I needed to work on. And what kept coming to me were boundaries, 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 boundaries. So when we set boundaries and we tell them to other people, it is up to us to enforce them boundaries. For example, we can't say, no, I don't do this thing, or no, I don't do that thing, and then give somebody a little leeway to overstep our boundaries, because that tells people that, hey, yes, she said she had boundaries, but apparently that's a lie, because I still got to overstep her boundaries. So in a sense, I'm thinking about, if we set boundaries, you have to enforce them. Of course, as adults have temper tantrums. They get mad with you. They get upset because they can't have what they want. But at the end of the day, what about you? What about you getting what you want? Why can't you always get what you want? Sometimes, not all the time, but at least sometimes, we're always saying yes to others. We're always trying to make others happy. But what about us? Who makes us happy? We're always giving and giving and giving to others, but who puts back into us? Who replenishes us? So in the year to come, I am absolutely going to enforce my boundaries. I have them. I just have to enforce them. And sometimes we don't like to, ruffle people's feathers or make them upset with us. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this is my life. I'm going to live the best life to the fullest. I only have one. So if that means that I have to ruffle a little feathers or make someone upset because I want to live my best life, then so be it. And I feel like if that person is really there for you and then they're really genuine, they will accept those boundaries. Now, if they kind of have some issues, if they throw a temper tantrum, or why can't you do this, or why can't you help me just this one time, it's like, hey, is this person really supposed to be in my life? Is this person really genuine? Or are they here just for selfish reasons? And if so, then we have to evaluate, like, hey, should I continue this relationship with this person, or should I distance myself? What should I do? We have to take our lives into our control. Nobody else is going to do it for us, because if we allow other people to take control of our lives, they'll just run over us, do whatever they want, and then just leave us hanging, especially when we're in need, especially when you're always the yes person and you always like to help. There's nothing wrong with that. Continue to help, but you always have to have boundaries. If not, you'll help, 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 and you'll be tired. You just don't have anything else to give, because no one else has been able to give to you, because everybody is taking, 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 taking. So the important lesson is to always make sure you enforce your boundaries, enforce your boundaries, enforce your boundaries. I always believe that the right people who are supposed to be in your life, they will be there, and the ones who are not, like, bye. It's a new year anyway. Everybody's yelling new year, new me. I'm cutting people off. So if they're not supposed to be in your life, then deuces. But at the end of the day, this is my life, and I'm going to live it to the best of my abilities, the way I want to live, not the way anybody thinks I should live it. And of course, it's okay to get people's opinions and, always evolve, always better yourself. But just remember, like, this is your life and you have control over your life. Don't allow anybody else to have that type of control, because that means that you don't have good boundaries with people at all. You just kind of let people do whatever. And sometimes we still have that fear of, like, hey, I love them, I want them in my life. But baby, please, if they're meant to be, they're meant to be. And if not, it's like, hey, what did I learn from this lesson? What did I learn from this relationship? And I take it and I move it on to the next relationship, and I build upon those things. So remember to always enforce your boundaries. Never give someone that little tiny bit to come in and overstep your boundaries, because I believe that is true. When you say you give a people an inch and they take a mile, they really do. And then things just start to spiral out of control, and you're like, hey, I thought I was enforcing my boundaries, but apparently not, because we just gave them this little leeway, and they just took it and run with it. But at the same time, if you have a boundary and you say, hey, well, maybe just this time, I'll kind of, put the boundary to the back, that's fine. But just remember, the person will come back and be like, hey, you remember, such and such. You're like, no, I only did that one time, and that was it. So now I'm going to stick to my boundary, and the answer is no. And when you tell people no, I think it's okay if you give them a reason why you say no, but you don't owe people explanation of why you said no. No, because I said so, and that's the end of that. A lot of times when we ask people something and they tell us no, they don't give us excuses, and if they do give us excuses, is really not a good one anyway. So it's like, why do I always have to give a reason why I don't want to do something, or why I have a boundary, or why I want to say no? The answer is no, and this is my boundary, and I'm going to stick to it. And if you like it, then we'll move on and live happily ever after. Or if you don't like it, bye, and I still move on and live happily ever after. At the end of the day, this is my life, and I'm going to live it to the full, till it overflow. As my co-pastor says, I'm going to live this thing, and I'm going to allow God to lead me. And maybe he is saying like, hey, this relationship isn't where I want you to be, I need to remove them from your life. So it's like, hey, you're not accepting of my boundaries, like, bye, you about to be removed anyway, you about to be put out. So I'm making room for other things and for other people, genuine people, to come into my life who appreciates and accepts my boundaries, and says, hey, this could be a mature person, because they do have boundaries and they don't allow others to have control over them. So I said all that to say, make sure in the new year, new year, new me, whatever you guys want to do, make sure you enforce your boundaries. This life is yours. You only get one. So live it to the fullness. Make sure you have happiness. Make sure you have joy. And make sure you enforce those boundaries. So until next week, which is a new year, I will see you guys then. I hope you guys are doing awesome and you're not being dysfunctional over the new year. New year, new me, we shouldn't be dysfunctional anyway, right? Because that's what we say. But again, if you do have a little dysfunction, like say, hey, I messed up, let me pick myself up, let me keep going, because I have things to do. So until next time, see you guys later. Bye.